some plays that were working early in the game, and then they just started just cutting us in the hole. The guys that were pulling around, I know Pat and some of our tight ends, they were just cutting right in the hole, so there was just nowhere to run the ball. And then we got to play better. We didn't play as good as we are. So I'm not trying to place any blame anywhere, but everybody could have done things better. We are a team. We win as a team. We lose as a team. So we all claim responsibility.
The offensive line, obviously 4 returning starters, played great last year. How would you say you played this year, and if you haven't played your potential, why?
We played good at times. We played bad at times. There's kind of been some up and downs. As to why, I think if we knew why, we'd fix it. So it's kind of a tough question to answer because, if I knew, Coach Warner knew, kind of what was going on, we'd implement whatever it is and fix it. So, it's tough to say.
There's a lot of talk about what Zeke said after the game. I guess we could debate whether that was the right place to do it, but what he said, did it need to be said? Would you say, or what's the thought?
I think as football players, people always say, "Oh, just go play," but you are allowed to have opinions. I don't necessarily agree that was the time or place to say those things, but he is allowed to have an opinion. He voiced it. I think it came off a little harsh, and I think people kind of quoted him and made it sound a lot worse than it was. But Zeke's one of the main reasons we won it all last year. I know from being around him and him being one of my friends that he's given everything to this program. So I think he's allowed to voice an opinion, and I know he's talked to the coaches about that, and he's fine.
Was that frustration coming out, you think?
100%, yeah.
And where is that with the rest in the room? Is that frustration also there, you think, or not?
I mean, they asked me to do media, and I wouldn't do it because I was frustrated too, and I just didn't want to put myself in that situation. I just wanted to go be around my family, the people I love, because people say, "Oh, you guys are being sore losers." Well, losing isn't fun, and you don't have to be happy about it. So I didn't even want to do media, but.
You said you don't like losing. It's been since 2013. You've lost back-to-back. How do you make sure that you don't experience something that many of you didn't like 2 years ago?
I mean, I think it'll kind of light a fire under us, the fact that we did, and we didn't play well. So underachieving in a game, you just hate to see that. So I think that'll kind of, hopefully ignite a fire under some guys, the whole team, and then. This is a huge game, and I know nothing would make me feel better than winning, my 4th pair of gold pants, going up there and beating them in their place. So I think getting a win, and a big win at that, is the best way to bounce back from that and kind of show what this program is about. If we can't handle a loss and get better from it, then what are we doing?
Taylor,